Hi, I'm James Krueger, and I'll be here with you discovering the coastal life here in Monterey Bay. Monterey is commonly known for its beautiful coastline and its world-class aquarium and settings such as Cannery Row in John Steinbeck's novels. Here we see the statue with some history about the fishing industry of Monterey. Santa Rosalia, the patron saint of Italian fishermen in Monterey. As we know, there's a lot of aquatic sea life here in Monterey, and the Italians came here long ago to set up their fishing business, and right at the Fisherman's Wharf is where the Italian fishermen came in with their loads of fish every day. So what we gather from this is a little history about Monterey. We've all heard about the great sardine factories that were here, right here in Monterey, back in the 1930s and 40s. A very famous author wrote many stories, specifically one called Cannery Row. His name was John Steinbeck, this author that wrote a lot of wonderful stories about the life and times of living here, working in the factories, what these fishermen and even those who worked in the factories didn't even go out to sea, but took the sardines, cleaned them up, and put them in tin cans, baked them, and sold them and shipped them out to all over the country for everyone else to enjoy. And what was the sardine industry? Well, sardines were fish that lived in millions and millions and millions right here in the Monterey Bay area. The industry, as well known, profited so much and fished out so many of these fish that they almost became extinct, meaning there were no more of them to catch. We were catching so many more than they were reproducing until they couldn't catch any more, and all of a sudden their businesses weren't selling any sardines. Now today those canneries have stopped, and fortunately the sardines have come back with the help of scientists that made this area a non-fishing zone for sardines, and so the sardine could grow back in exuberance here in the oceans. And now we even have to learn more about the fish and the sea life, which we call the Monterey Bay Aquarium. It's a really wonderful place to visit, and they always have new and exciting exhibits changing all the time throughout the year. If you go to school in the area, they have lots of educational projects where you can come and learn about the ocean life, and perhaps maybe you even want to be a scientist when you grow up. And it's a great way to see what the scientists have done about ocean life here in Monterey. They've made fish come back into exuberance. They made them multiply. So it's a great way to learn about sea life and how and what we can do to promote their life, and yet to understand how we as human beings benefit from the ocean. Obviously a lot of our food comes from the ocean, but we don't want to use all that food so there's none left. So we have to be careful about the balance, just to fish enough but not too much, to allow the sea life to grow and expand also. So it kind of helps both of us. So here in Monterey, there's still a lot of fishing going on, just as in the past. And we can see even today these fishing boats coming in with a bunch of different fish that folks would catch and clean right on the docks, and then take those fish home to eat or sell them to the restaurants nearby. This whole wharf here, the old Fisherman's Wharf, is filled with buildings of different color. And these buildings are actually restaurants, so they are cooking a lot of the seafood that the fishermen catch every day. And it's really fun to come and visit these restaurants because they all have different ways to prepare the seafood. But also, there's some neat life that goes on. I mean, there's even boats that we can take rides and actually see whales and see sea lions and even dolphins that you might have thought, hey, aren't dolphins just in Florida or some other place where it's a lot warmer? Well, it's true, dolphins do live in a warm climate, but the water here is warm too for certain dolphins that live with the whales. You'll sometimes see Rizzo's dolphins even bow riding, meaning they go to the front of the boat as we're riding along, and they will jump in front of the boat and swim along with the boat. It's kind of like a surfing for these Rizzo's dolphins. And sometimes our Rizzo's dolphins will lead us right to the humpback whales because they swim together in packs. So it's a lot of fun to see all this wonderful sea life right in front of our eyes. Well, if you'll follow me, we'll get a closer look on the boat. Come on. So today we're going to be observing a lot of the coastal life here in Monterey, specifically in the Monterey Submarine Canyon. You can observe whales, dolphins, and other marine mammals that are out there. A variety of offshore seabirds feed or migrate through the Monterey Bay. Here we see shearwaters. There's also albatross, cormorants, seagulls, pelicans, and many more. Oh, here we see a humpback whale and swimming along many dolphins. Humpback whales are close to 30 to 40 feet in length, and they have a little hump on their back. Such the reason why they're called humpbacks. We can see them swimming along a big group of dolphins. These dolphins are sometimes called Rizzo's dolphins. Dolphins are very energetic. We can see their enthusiasm as they bow ride. It's kind of like surfing alongside the front of the boat. A very thrilling sight to see. Closer to Canyon Row, near the Coast Guard station, is a large breakwater that is generally occupied by a huge number of the marine mammals. On a boat ride such as this, you can get an up-front, close-up look at the breakwater with the marine mammals lounging. This is a view of Old Fisherman's Wharf, where we see the fishing boats coming in and out to catch fish. The fish we see getting filleted here are sea bass and bull cod. The cod is a beautiful china orange colored fish. The harbor seal, accompanied by pelicans and seagulls, usually makes a dash for the fish and usually gets it first. Here we see a statue, a bronze statue that's called the Fisherman. Rightfully so, because the statue is of a fisherman bringing in his load of fish for the day in the net. As we can see, these fish are small, thin little fish called sardines. And here in Monterey, Italian fishermen made their life and their living by catching these sardines. So this statue, this monument, the Fisherman, by artist Jesse Coursant, is dedicated to those who made a living from the riches of the sea, the families they supported, and who in turn supported them. We appreciate their love and respect for Monterey Bay, around which a unique culture developed and this community was created. So this statue, the Fisherman, gives us the feel and the warmth and also kind of the hard work and labor that these Italian men came here to Monterey Bay and did day in and day out, catching these sardines right in these nets, bringing them right on this dock and serving them to the people all over the world by canning them and cooking them right here in Monterey, California. It's a wonderful monument, and it was just erected here in November 13, 2005 by this wonderful artist, Jesse Coursant. There's so much more to see here in Monterey. You know, time flies when you're having fun. So we really hope to see you again as we explore more of this exciting place, Monterey, California.